Tony, great to see you. It's been a really busy show. We finally landed on the interview with you. Thanks so much for your patience. So the care sector, it is a major policy debate rumbling away in the background. Every now and then it bursts into the headlines with a vengeance, with anger. It's very passionate, isn't it?
Yep.
Must be quite tough as a business leader in this sector to deal with all the political turbulence.
Yes, I think exactly that. I mean, we're all right in the middle of it, and we're hoping that policy will push us towards a better, brighter future. But actually, it just seems to get kicked around all the time, like the proverbial political football that it is. So a little bit tricky for us. We're dealing with, as you said, 2 years of COVID, which has been horrendous and has really hammered the sector. We've had a lot of government support, but it's to me, it feels a bit like constantly having a Band-Aid stuck on rather than finding the ultimate cure. So yeah, it's been a really tough time, and now we're faced with ridiculous inflation, costs of utility, energy staff costs. Well,
staff shortages.
Exactly, and people keep talking about national minimum wage, but the reality is that very few operators now are paying minimum wage. We can't. We just can't attract the staff. So,
what do you need to pay an experienced starter at one of your care homes? And does it differ between different parts of the country?
Yeah, it does differ. But the reality is now that you're talking probably £10 plus per hour for a carer at sort of base level. Coming
and the minimum wage, of course, is below £10.
Yeah, it's
£9.50
£9.50 this April. Yeah.
Very interesting.
And it's funny, that operators out there that are really struggling to recruit are bumping their pay up constantly. So if you're next door, national minimum wage means nothing. You're actually competing with the guy next door. So, we've seen a 10% increase in our costs over the last year.
Tell us how you got into this sector, just briefly. What were you doing before? How long have you been working in this very difficult area?
Well, I've been in it for about 25 years now. Before that, I qualified as an accountant and did my bit with one of the big practices. Went into insolvency, and I took a job with a company. Actually, it was a property company. They were the largest owner of care homes in the country. And for a variety of different reasons, ended up being one of the biggest operators at the time. So I was running 10,000 beds at that time.
Wow.
Which was a bit of a difficult challenge. But actually, it taught me an awful lot about the sector. And of course, now Healthcare Management Solutions, it provides consultancy and management services, which is it's one of the few companies that does that at the scale we do it at.
Now, you're often dealing with people not only at end of life, but in the twilight years, as it were. Families are often emotionally quite concerned. There's a lot of difficulties in terms of interaction between the customers and the care homes. On top of this, we've had COVID, and quite a few people have felt that care homes have been quite heavy-handed in terms of their imposition of the rules, not allowing relatives to be seen, even when the government rules allow them. Do you think that's a fair criticism? I put that to you because I get so many emails on this subject.
Yeah. I don't think it is fair, to be perfectly honest. I mean, we're running a business. We're dependent on our insurers. We're always worried about litigation, obviously. We need to do things properly. Guidance was there, and we followed the guidance.